Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a 2024 election prediction, this time between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. As I said before, all of my videos begin. I do make my predictions based off of the current state of the country. The current state of the country shows that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris do have a very poor approval rating. We're heading into a red wave year, and my election prediction will mirror that. Of course, things could be different 2.5 years from now, but all my predictions are judged based off of what is going on at the current moment. I could not presume what will happen in a few years. Also, before I begin, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are getting ever so close to 550 subscribers, so if it's your first time watching, please go ahead and consider subscribing, or if it's your third or eighth, please consider subscribing as well, so we can get to 550 anyway. Let's get right into our safe Kamala Harris races. Safe Kamala Harris races, I'm actually going to leave the state of Washington out, although I do think the best appeal that Vice President Kamala Harris has is the West Coast. However, she is very unpopular across the entire country. I'm going to actually include the likely Democrat states at the moment for her as well, which will just be the rest. Of adding up to the 181 electoral votes, including Maine's first. Although she has a very, very low approval rating across the country. She's very unpopular. She's seen as, very, in some sense, fake, kind of phony. Her approval rating is really in the low 30s. Some polls have shown her in the high 20s. And with that approval rating, you will not do good in a general election. The head-to-head polls show that she loses to former President Trump in almost every single toss-up state. So don't be surprised when this election prediction does not fare well for Democrats. I'm just giving you warning in advance if you are a Democrat. Brace for this. I'm also going to give Iowa and Ohio as safe Republican states. Kamala Harris virtually has no appeal in these rural states, especially as they become more Republican as black people leave to go to Georgia and Texas, and on other states as well, that whole region. But Donald Trump is very popular there, and Kamala Harris simply has, frankly, no appeal in that region whatsoever. And that brings Donald Trump to 149 electoral votes. Also, Maine second would be a safe Democrats, a safe Republican state, excuse me. Likely Trump states, Texas, Florida would also be likely Republican states. Donald Trump would be able to win Florida by a likely margin. We've seen polls between DeSantis and his opponents up pretty much double digits. Republicans are now the majority party fields in Florida by over 110,000 votes. Texas, there has been an Hispanic trend back, a little bit of a bounce back in favor of Republicans. Now, Republicans don't have a majority of Hispanic support compared to Democrats. However, Joe Biden's Hispanic approval is at 26%. Kamala Harris is even lower. And with that, with the increase in that trend, you could see Texas bounce back and go to Donald Trump by about 6 or 7 points, especially against a candidate like Kamala Harris. And then the final likely state that I do have going in favor of Donald Trump is the state of North Carolina. He managed to defeat Hillary Clinton by 3.7 points in North Carolina in 2016. In my mind, Kamala Harris may be almost as bad or worse than Hillary Clinton. They do have very similar character and personality. And I do think that Donald Trump could actually end up winning North Carolina by more than 5 points. Now, it had narrowed up in 2020, but I do think that that's going to spread off. You also see voter registration, that deficit decreasing in North Carolina and going in favor of Republicans. When you look at voter registration, the deficit has decreased over 100,000 voter registrations since the 2020 election, and that will bode very well for Donald Trump. Other lean Harris states would be the state of Colorado, would also manage to lean in favor of Kamala Harris, and I also believe the state of Virginia would be able to lean in favor of Kamala Harris, although Glenn Youngkin was able to win in Virginia. National general elections tend to be very different in those results. I still think Harris will be able to win 3 to 4 points, as well as Maine's second congressional district. Donald Trump, in contrast, will be able to lean the state of Arizona in his favor. He'll also be able to lean Georgia, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania in his favor, getting up to 291 electoral votes. And finally, I think he'll be able to win Michigan, leaning that in his favor, as well as Nebraska second, actually. So that gets him to 307 electoral votes. I believe that Kamala Harris will be able to tilt New Mexico in her favor, as well as Minnesota. I still think would remain a Democrat state, although by a very, very small margin against Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump was able to narrow that margin to him only winning by 1.5%, Hillary Clinton only winning by about 1.5%. And I think that Harris would barely be able to hold on to that, but hold on nonetheless. I think Trump will be able to carry the state of New Hampshire by a tilt margin, and finally the state of Nevada. So this final election prediction between, or not the final of all time, but this election prediction between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump leaves Donald Trump with 317 electoral votes, meaning he will be technically re-elected president of the United States to serve as the 45th and the 47th president, doing what only Grover Cleveland had done before him, a modern electoral, I don't want to call it a landslide, but a somewhat big victory against Kamala Harris in modern times, modern consideration. Of course, you go back 40, 50 years, this would actually have been a very, very close election, but due to the polarization of the country, this is actually a big win for Republicans. So 317 to 221. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please make sure to let me know in the comments below your thoughts on my election prediction, what you would keep the same, what you would change, and all of that. Like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hopefully we get to 550 subscribers and eventually 600 very, very soon. And I am so excited to, as we head into these midterm elections, I hope things speed up so we get there sooner, because it's certainly going to be an interesting ride. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and have a great day. See you all soon.